Good morning. It's day 13 and I'm coming from a little bit different spot in my neighborhood park or local. It's not really in my neighborhood. But anyway, I am here and there's going to be some clouds today, so I don't know how much of the sun we'll see, but I'll show you my view. And it's still always a glorious view. Just to get out in nature, breathe the fresh air, get out of my small mind and my small world and see the bigger world. It's always a good perspective shift to go outside. If you are really open for it and looking for it, it's always there. And that can happen internally as well and inside. We just need to be intentional about it. All right, so what I was reading this morning and the message I was personally getting, continuing in my reading of Exodus, was, hopefully you all don't hear that background noise. I'm a little closer to the roadway here. But anyway, as we continue in the book of Exodus, and we're starting to get into some of the details of the law now and how the court systems are supposed to make decisions case by case. And there was a lot of what I picked up on, and I know they live in different, that's a whole different time frame. They have whole different issues, but really trying to pull nuggets out of it that I can apply to me today. That's often the challenge of the Bible, I think. And I'm a newbie at this, so y'all are literally watching me learn. And some of you may be learning right along with me. So those of you that are like theologians and have read the Bible, watch a newbie unfold and enjoy the process, and maybe even be reminded and refreshed if you're further down the road. And also just feel free to reach out to me with your wisdom as well and comment here and share that wisdom with other people. Anyway, I'm titling today Risk versus Reward. And that so there was a lot of talk in my readings today about the court system, but there were a lot of references, and an unusual amount at least stuck out to me, about ox and the responsibility of the owners of ox. And so I can only imagine that having an ox was a valuable thing and multi-purpose. Like, they worked for you, you could eat them. Like, to have an ox was a big deal. But it's a wild animal at the end of the day, and it's a big animal. And even if they've been tamed, it's still a big animal that can be unpredictable. And so that was part of what was discussed today, or like, what do you do to an owner for an ox that is out of hand or may be potentially dangerous or unpredictable and could gore people? And you know this about your ox, but you don't do anything about it. The dilemma of the owner of a very valuable commodity that has a chance, a likelihood, possibility of being a problem to the larger community. Could hurt somebody, could hurt many people, could hurt nobody. That was the dilemma I was seeing and the court was trying to address, and how to make decisions. And don't we do that every day? We kind of calculate, like, yeah, I know this could be a problem, but like, maybe we'll do the math in our head, like. And for those of us that even have habits that are leading down a road of problem for ourselves and potentially others, but maybe we're just day by day, just doing an incremental, like, it doesn't seem that bad. It's not that bad. We can justify it. We can rationalize it. we can go, well, it's really not that bad. And the likelihood of that happening doesn't seem too great. So I'm going to take the risk and stick with this decision. Back then, they had to decide whether or not to, put down an ox for the greater good, at their own peril, potentially. Like, do I have the money to replace this ox? What will this do to my family if we don't have this valuable asset that can work for us? How will I earn money for a new one? Like, I'm just trying to put myself in their position and then put myself back in my position, and different things that can cause that thought process. And I was really fortunate enough to work in prison ministry for a few years and really got firsthand compassion, knowledge, looking at these women that they're no different than me. Many of them, wrong place, wrong time. They made maybe a calculated decision that probably getting in trouble was not that high, or they were with somebody who made a bad decision and they're kind of guilt by association. And then I realized, wow, I'm just one decision away from their place. Or heck, let's be honest, I just haven't gotten caught. I haven't gotten caught with my consequence, to be in their shoes. Or maybe I've even got a little bit more money to pay an attorney, a lot of women that are in prison today. But anyway, not to talk too much about that, but gosh, I can think of so many things. I've been very open with anybody that talks to me in here that I decided to give up alcohol, and drinking wine was becoming one of these things for me, where I was doing this calculation of risk versus reward and really trying to see ahead, because I had gotten myself to a place where I was like, okay, I'm making these daily decisions that don't seem that bad. I was, making good money. I was, we live in a nice house. We have all the things. They would call this high functioning. I'm a high functioning person in all areas of my life. Well, most. Or I'm able to justify or fool myself and maybe just do this cold risk versus reward. But I had to be really honest. And then I started looking at how it was maybe starting to affect when I really opened my eyes. My kids were really starting to notice that mom would occasionally fall asleep on the couch with a glass of wine by her while watching TV at night after a long night of maybe negotiating contracts. Or, maybe she doesn't have as much energy in the morning, and, all the things. And then I was even noticing, because I was not feeling my best, I was starting to kind of have a chip on my shoulder. I was a little bit grumpy. I wasn't upset with anybody else. I was upset at me, but I was starting to take it out on other people. No bueno. So how that we can really justify, and it may be something totally different for you, but I'm guessing because you're human, there's something. Or maybe you are doing something big that's comparable to what, the Israelites and the folks were having to deal with making decisions about something big in their life, like the ox, that really, it's understandable. That's a hard decision to make on a maybe, well, we don't know for sure, but man, if that big thing becomes a problem, it's a big problem, and not just for you, but for other people. And I can, I'm sure you all get what I'm saying. You're picking up what I'm putting down. And it might be a good thing to really assess. And there's this thing called the compound effect, compound interest, where we can really justify and rationalize things. Trying to show you all the sunrise there too. Gonna have some clouds. Where we can justify and rationalize because, well, you were not seeing a big effect on a daily basis, but over time, it adds up. It adds up. And even with health things that you're doing, whether it's a lack of exercise, maybe not eating as healthy as you know you could. And again, this is not about being perfect. It's about just doing your best. And then when you know personally that there are some things you know, and we convince ourselves, well, it's just me, I'm not affecting anybody else. But is that true? Is it true? Look around, open your eyes, wake up, people. And not just for your sake, but for the greater good. And that was sort of the message I got this morning. And boy, have I got a lot of work to still do. Yeah. So, but for the first time in my adult life, I really feel intentional about this kind of thing. Like, I take inventory, I'm thinking about it. I am doing my best. And there's integrity in that, and alignment, and a fulfillment, and it doesn't require perfection. There's only one that can do that. But I lean into him every day and seek his wisdom. He created me. He knows the good, the bad, the ugly. He knows that about you too. He loves us anyway. He tells us, don't do this alone. I didn't create you to do this alone. Lean on me. Lean on all the things I give you. I give you my word through the Bible. I give you my word through creation. Like, if you all are outside and you think this is just random, wow, I think that takes more faith than what I've got. But it's a journey of discovery and even stopping to think about these things. So anyway, those are my personal learnings that I'm going to really try to apply today, and think about where I might be taking more risk versus the reward I'm getting, and thinking about how that could be impacting beyond me and where I might be still kind of fooling myself. All right. Bye. Go rise and shine. I got to take some pictures. But there, pretty sky. And my hands are getting cold. So, bye for now.